analytics refers to the techniques to analyze the data to enhance the productivity and business gain. Data is extracted from various sources and is categorized to analyze different behavioral patterns. Now, the techniques and the tools used to perform data analytics vary from organization to organization, or you can say individual to individual, right? So if I have to define data analytics for you, then data analytics is the process of inspecting, cleaning, transforming, and modeling the data with the goal of discovering useful information, suggesting conclusions, and supporting decision making. So in short, if you have an understanding of your business administration and also have the capability to perform exploratory data analysis to gather the required information, then you're good to start the career in the data analytics field. So, talking about career in data analytics, once you understand and you have the capability of performing business administration with exploratory data analysis, you would become a data analyst.
So, why become a data analyst? The answer can lie in the demand for this job. According to the job vacancy on LinkedIn, in India there's a vacancy of over 35,000 jobs for data analysts, while in the US job market there's over 174,000 vacant jobs for data analysts. If we talk about the Silicon Valleys, per se Bangalore, which is famously regarded as the Silicon Valley of India or the IT capital of India, there's alone a vacancy of over 13,000 jobs for data analysts. While in the Silicon Valley of the world, California, there's over 26,000 vacant jobs. Next, we can look into the salaries. Since there's a lot of vacancy, the demand for this job is pretty high, while the competition is not that high. Now, this will make you think about the salary package. Even though the competition is not that high, the salary for a data analyst is pretty decent. In India, it is 5 lakh per annum on an average, while in the US, it is $69,517, which is almost 70 grand per annum on an average. Next, we will see which all companies are hiring data analysts, and the list can go on. To name a few top companies hiring data analysts could be Accenture, TCS, American Express, Google, KPMG, Capgemini, Mindtree, Deloitte, Flipkart, Cognizant, Dell, Ernst& Young, IBM, Mu Sigma, and Goldman Sachs. Now that we have talked about the demand and why you should become a data analyst, let's see who is a data analyst. The job of a data analyst is to retrieve or fetch data and clean it and analyze it to conclude meaningful insights for the company's business and strategize accordingly. But how do data analysts help the organizations? So that can be with encouraging disciplined thinking, creating advanced statistical modeling techniques, predicting and improving business performance with the insights, bring technical expertise, and provide quality assurance of data. Next, we will talk about what job is to be done by a data analyst. So, as per the job description of JP Morgan, the requirement for a data analyst is qualifications of SQL, Python, R, Alteryx data tool, Tableau, Hadoop, big data, and relational database as well. While in Ernst& Young, they require qualification of Python or R coding as well, like we saw in the job description of JP Morgan, and even a knowledge of neural networks, deep learning, AI. Now we will see the skills required by a data analyst. The first and the foremost skill would be organizational skill. Next, a data analyst should definitely have analytical skills. Database concepts are very important for a data analyst. And of course, we have R programming language, artificial intelligence, statistical analysis, Python, and data visualization tools like Tableau and Power BI. These skills are very important for a data analyst to begin with. The tools that are required by a data analyst are R programming language, Python, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, NumPy, Pandas, and PySpark. Now we'll see what are the roles and responsibilities of a data analyst. So the first thing is hands-on work and delivery of advanced analytics, ML and AI projects. Next is to undertake pre-processing of structured and unstructured data. A data analyst is also required to analyze a large amount of information to discover trends, patterns, and actionable insights. They are also required to propose solutions and strategies to business challenges, present information using data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, using dashboards. They are even required to identify business challenges with stakeholders and help provide analytics using statistical methods. Now we will see how to become a data analyst. So the steps to become a data analyst can start with making a learning plan. If you learn what to learn and how to learn, you can make a plan to proceed with. Then you can build on your technical skills, looking into the required skills by a data analyst. Accordingly, you can work on projects with real time data to know how to work in the job field. Then you can develop a portfolio of your own work to present it to the companies to get a better job opportunity. Next, you can even practice presenting your findings to the companies. And finally, even getting a certification or a degree course can add up to your CV. So, how to start? To get started with the learning process, you can look into our Edureka YouTube channel to start with. Even with no prior knowledge of data analysis, just going through the videos can help you get a hold of the topic. We even have Edureka blogs where you can read up on the topics at ease. The blogs have detailed information on the topics and can help you give a clearer picture. These are completely free and can be accessed by anyone. Apart from these, we also have premium courses on data analytics where you can get 24-hour support and lifetime access to the contents. You can learn at your own pace with live trainers who are extremely efficient and experienced in this field. These are certification courses which you can even add on your CV. We even have classes on Saturdays so you can work and parallelly upskill your knowledge for a better opportunity in the job market. So that's it for today. I hope this video helped you and you can decide on becoming a data analyst.
Let us understand data extraction using Python. So, what exactly is data extraction? Data extraction is the act or the process of retrieving data out of the data sources for further data processing or data storage. In our case, data analysis. So, the import into the intermediate extracting system is usually followed by data transformation and possibly the addition of metadata prior to export to another stage in the data workflow. So basically, what data extraction is, we have different sources of data where we can actually extract the data from, and then we can use it for different purposes. Let's say we can use it for transformation, or we can use it for data processing and data storage as well. So this is a simple definition of what exactly is data extraction. Now let's move on to what Python does for us when it comes to data extraction. So basically, Python has all these libraries that we can use for data extraction. And first of all, we have a request library, which is a Python library written by Kenneth Reitz and is licensed under Apache 2.0. And it is basically a human friendly HTTP library, as it is also mentioned on the official documentation page. And it is quite easy to use and basically used for making all sorts of HTTP requests. Because let's say if you're trying to extract the data from World Wide Web, you're gonna have to need some HTTP request for that matter. So that is where request is actually used. And when it comes to why do we actually need the use of Python request library, the reason is pretty simple. I mean, while using Python request, you don't have to manually add the queries to your URLs and form encode post data. And it makes our job easier when making the HTTP request of any kind. So that is why we use request in Python, guys, for making the HTTP request. And then comes the another library, which is Scrapy. So Scrapy is a free and open source web crawling framework written in Python, and it was originally designed to perform web scraping but can also be used for extracting data using APIs, and it is maintained by Scraping Hub Limited. Scrapy is a complete package when it comes to downloading the web pages, processing, and storing the data on the databases as well. And it is like a powerhouse when it comes to web scraping with multiple ways to scrape a website. And Scrapy actually handles bigger tasks with ease, scraping multiple pages or a group of URLs in less than a minute. It uses a twister that works to achieve concurrency. And then it provides spider contracts that allows us to create generic as well as deep crawlers. So Scrapy also provides item pipelines to create functions in a spider that can perform various operations like replacing values in data, etc. So if you want to know more about Scrapy or request in detail, we have the tutorials for these. Like we have for Python request, we have a whole tutorial in detail, and we have for Scrapy as well with the demonstrations of examples using all these spiders and everything. So moving on, we have one more library which is a beautiful soup, guys. So it is basically a Python library for pulling the data out of HTML and XML files. So it works with your favorite parser to provide idiomatic ways of navigating, searching, and modifying the parse tree. And it commonly saves programmers hours of days of work. And now that we are clear with the library support for data extraction in Python, let us jump right to the demos. Okay. So the first demo is about extracting the data from a PDF file. So for this, we will use the PyPDF2 library in Python, guys. So a brief introduction to PyPDF2, guys. A pure Python library built as a PDF toolkit, and it is capable of extracting document information, splitting the documents page by page, merging the documents page by page, and we can crop the pages, merging multiple pages into a single page. We can encrypt and decrypt the PDF files as well, and there are so many more features of this PyPDF2 library that I'm talking about. And then by being pure Python, it should run on any Python platform without any dependencies on external libraries as well. And it can also work entirely on string objects rather than file streams. So it is going to allow the PDF manipulation in memory as well, and therefore is a useful tool for websites that manage or manipulate PDFs. So in this demo, I will show you how we can read from different pages of a PDF file. So let us go right to the PyCharm, guys, and I'll show you how we can do this. So I'll show you the PDF file first, guys. Okay, so this is a sample PDF, guys. So we have 2 pages over here, and we have written something in this document. So what I'm going to do is I'll open PyCharm now, guys. So we are in PyCharm, guys. I have made this project named data extraction, and I have all these files for different demos that I'm going to show you guys. So make sure you have installed all the dependencies first of all. So we're going to use all those libraries that I've just told you about. We're not going to work on Scrapy because it is a different tutorial altogether, and we have a full tutorial on Scrapy, how to scrape data using Scrapy, so you can check that out. And otherwise you have to install all the dependencies. So you can open the project interpreter, come over here and install all the dependencies like requests. It's already installed in my project, so I'm not going to do that again. So you have to install bs4 or beautiful beautiful soup 4 you have to install, guys. And similarly you have to install pypdf2 and url lib3, which is we're going to use this while working on web scraping using the beautiful soup, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. Now I'm going to import, I hope this is clear to you guys. I'm going to import pypdf2 as, let's say, p. Now I'm going to take one variable file, and inside this I'm going to use the open function, and I'm going to provide the file location, right, rb over here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'll take one more variable, let's say pd, and I'm going to use p dot pdf file reader, and inside this I'm going to pass file, guys. Now after this I am going to print, oh wait, let's say x. So I'm going to use the pd, and I'm going to get the page, the first page. Let's say y is equal to pd dot get page 1, and now we print x and y dot extract, and now I'm going to write extract text. Okay, so we are done with the program, guys. I'm going to run this now. So as you can see in the output, guys, okay, first let me comment one of these. So now when I check the output, whatever I've written in the first page Like this is a simple PDF, Python is high level object oriented programming language. Whatever I've written in the first page of my PDF, it's showing in the output. And similarly, to get the content of the second page, I'm going to comment this part. Now I'll check for the output again. And this is how simply you can, there is the data, like you must know important Python concepts such as data operations, file operations, etc. So this is how you extract data from a PDF file, guys, using the PyPDF library that we have in Python. Now next up we have one more program which is going to be about extracting the data using an API, guys. So I'll remove this again, write the program from the beginning. So for this, what we have to do is we have to import certain dependencies first of all, which is going to be requests. Okay, wait, say R. And after this, we're going to have to install some more dependencies, but these we'll import it later, guys. So first of all, I will mention the URL, guys. So I'll just copy the code over here. So this is my URL, guys. Okay, I'll make this a little smaller so that it'll be in the same page. So we have our URL, which is basically http://api://openweathermap.org. So I'll open the URL for you guys, which is openweathermap. So this is basically the URL that we are using, guys, and we're gonna get the current data or the current weather data. So to call this, we have to use this API call, in which we have a city name and our API key. The API key is unique for everybody. For that, you have to sign into this login page and follow certain instructions. So I'm not going to tell you that. You can do that on your own, guys. So we have a city name over here, which I'm going to get from the user. And then I have a key, which I'm going to import from the secret file, guys. So from secret, I am going to import key. Right, and I'm going to mention the city as well, let's say. So it's going to be string input, enter city name. Now after this, I'm going to make one request, guys, in which I'm going to use the URL using the request library that I have mentioned over here. So what I'll do is I'll take one variable response, and I'm going to use request or r dot get. Inside this, I pass the URL, guys, and now I'm going to print the status code, guys. So let's check what is the status code that we are getting over here. Right, I'll make this a little smaller. We'll type the city as New Delhi, let's see, or we have the status code as 200, so we can carry this forward, guys. So what I'll do is I'll just print response dot text. Let's see what we are getting, guys. And for this, I'm going to use a different city, let's say Chicago. So these are the coordinates, the weather, everything I'm getting over here in the output, guys. So this is raw text. I'm going to convert it into let's say JSON format so that it's easier, guys. So I'll take one more variable, let's say data, and I'm going to change this as response dot text dot. We can just simply print the response in JSON format, guys. We don't have to change it to any other. Now instead of Chicago, let me just take it as let's say London. Okay, so we have the coordinates, we have the weather, it's clouds, description is broken clouds, and we are getting the ID as well. That's not that we actually need over here, and we have the weather and everything, guys. So this is how you extract the data using an API in Python using the request library. And now that we're done with this one also, let's take a look at the next one. And also, I forgot to tell you about the PDF file reader that we did in PyPDF. It's basically, initializes a PDF file reader object, and the operation can take time as the PDF streams cross-reference tables are read into memory. And the get page that we used over there was basically, used to retrieve a page by, okay, I'll just open the file and tell it again, guys. So this PDF file reader is basically, it initializes a PDF file reader object, And the operation can take some time as the PDF stream cross reference tables are read into memory. And then this get page method that we have over here, it basically retrieves a page number from this PDF file, whatever we are using over here. And okay, let's move ahead with the API one. So I guess you have understood how we have used the API also. It's basically nothing, guys. I skipped the part where you get the URL from the openweathermap.org. There you have to sign up and everything for getting the key, and that's how you do it, guys. And also, let me just give you a quick introduction to API. So, an application programming interface or API is a computing interface to a software component or a system that defines how other components or systems can use it. So, it defines the kind of calls or requests that can be made, and how to make them also. It tells us, and the data formats that should be used, the conventions to follow, etc. All those things are covered in the API. And for our program here, I have used the Open Weather Map API. And to use this API, you have to use a key in the URL that you have seen over here. After the city, we have used this key, which is a secret key in my secret file over here that I'm not obviously going to show you because it's unique and you have to generate it for yourself. So this can be a little exercise for you guys, to figure out what kind of URL you're going to use for this API. And if you search more on the internet, you can also find a lot more other APIs that you can use to get the data. This is a very simple example. I'm just demonstrating how you can extract the data using Python. Now that we are done with this example as well, we will move on to the final example of the session. So this is basically web scraping using Python. So I'm just going to close this and remove all this, and I'm going to write it again from the beginning. So before we begin, guys, I just want to show you something, or I want to tell you that this web scraping using Python or web scraping in general is a very controversial concept in Python or any other programming language because of the legality clause that it comes with. And it is not exactly ethical to scrape a website, but we can always follow certain guidelines. And then, of course, there are legality issues with web scraping. So make sure you're thoroughly aware of the site permissions that you are going to explore or scrape. Now, most of the websites have a robot.txt file where you can see the permissions, and even if a website does not have a robot.txt file, it does not mean you have the permission to scrape the website. And there has been a case in which Craigslist sued a company for more than $300 million for this purpose. And I have found one article that I want to show you guys. It's quite good and it's very informative about the legality clause of web scraping that we have over here. It is from prowebscraper.com, guys. So here are some aspects that you can figure out if a website is legal to scrape or not. For example, if we take a look at edureka.co, so we can do one thing, guys. First, we go to the website, of course, and meanwhile, we can check out other robots.txt. So we have all these permissions, and this website edureka.co has disallowed everything, so you cannot scrape this website, guys. So you can always check for any website that you're going to scrape first. So you can do one thing, check for any disallowment on robots.txt file. If there is anything, you should just move on to the next website that you had in mind to scrape the data from. And I mean, most of the websites have a robot.txt file where you can see the permissions. And even if a website does not have a robot.txt file, it does not actually mean that you have the permission to scrape the website or the web page. I mean, this is just to let you guys know that it can be a serious issue in some cases. So always check for the robot.txt file for permissions. And if it's not there, the best option is to look for other options. I mean, if you cannot find something related to a robot.txt file which indicates that you can scrape the data from over there, you should just move on to the next one or ask for permission from the owner of the website. That works also. So let us move on to our example in PyCharm, guys. So I'll just begin. So first of all, you have to import a few dependencies. So from BS4, I'm going to import beautiful soup. Yes, and from URL lib3 dot. So I'm going to use response import URL open. Okay, we have made a mistake over here. It's not URL lib3, it's URL lib. And now it should work fine, guys. I'm going to do it again. URL open. Now I'm going to paste the URL, which is toscrape.com. And inside this, we have a whole page. Okay, I'll just copy this URL, take you to the web page so that it's better to understand this, what we are scraping actually. And this is the web page that I'm going to scrape for data, to extract data from this web page. The title itself says quotes to scrape. And then we have all these codes that we can scrape inside our program and store it also. And before that, I have to tell you a few things about the steps that are involved in web scraping, guys. So first of all, you have to find the URL that I've told you about. You have to be very specific when you are choosing a URL for scraping the data, because there are a few legality issues related to it. I mean, sometimes you don't have permission to scrape the data. Sometimes the robot.txt file is not present, so you never know if you have the permission or you have, if you don't have the permission. And sometimes it's clearly written that you can scrape the data. After that, you inspect the page and check out everything, or actually, explore the web page to see how you can scrape the data and what kind of data are you trying to scrape from here. And after that, you have to find the data to extract, that you're going to extract. And in our case, I'm going to extract the codes from the web page. So after this, after all these steps, the 3 steps, you have figured out what kind of data you are going to scrape from which web page, and what are the tags that you're going to use from inspecting the element. And then you write the Python script using the beautiful soup and URL lib open. Then you extract the data and store it in a format. So we'll move to PyCharm again, guys. So we have our data, guys. Sorry, we have our URL, and now I'm going to use HTML is equal to URL open and provide URL over here. Yes. And now I'm going to take one variable soup. I'm going to use beautiful soup. Wait a minute. Okay, so we're going to begin again. Beautiful soup. Inside this, I'm going to pass HTML, and we'll write HTML dot parser. And now what we'll do is we'll write type soup, and then we write all links is equal to soup dot find all. And inside this, we have to mention what we actually have to scrape from here. So we're going to inspect this page, guys. So we have opened inspect element, and we'll check for what we have to scrape over here. So we have a span. Inside this, we have the text, guys. It's in the div class over here, and the class is code. Yes. And for each, it is same. So I think I know what we have to do here. So we'll find all the div where the class is, if I'm not wrong, it was code. Yes. And after this, we take one more variable, string cells, and we're going to change all of it to strings. And we are not going to get the clear text, so we'll use beautiful soup again. Inside this, I am going to pass string cells, and then we can have html dot parser. html dot parser is basically nothing, guys. It's used to get the data in a format which is understandable to the user, because not every aspect of the text that you have on internet is readable to you, guys. Sometimes it's in xml format, and it has to be passed in html so that you will be able to understand it better. Now we print the clear text. Let's see what the output is. All right, so we have all the text from each div, so we have tags also. All right, so this is how you scrape a data from a website, guys. And similarly, I have written one more code for another URL, that is books2scrape.com. So I'll just take you to this URL first of all, and then I'll show you what I've done over here. I've changed nothing from the code, so it's basically the same. And then we have this page. Okay, I'll just this web page, which is basically books to scrape that we have over here. So it has all these books that I can scrape. It is basically a e-commerce platform replica that you can think of it as an e-commerce platform. And then let's say you want to scrape the name of a book or name of all these books on this page. So what you will do is inspect the element, check for, okay, so we want this. So we want the href in h3. So what I've done over here is we have found all the h3 and got the text from it. So let me run this, and you'll see that we are getting the output as somewhat like all the names of the books over here. So this is also a very simple example of web scraping that you can